But the very quick version of what I have done is that I'm originally from Pakistan, and my journey as a Pakistani woman is, I'm proud of it, because in Pakistan, regardless of any challenges and hurdles, Pakistani women have been very resilient. And Pakistani women have been part of democracy from day one. So for us, we elected our first women prime minister in 1998, Benazir Bhutto. And for us, it doesn't surprise us that Malala Yousafzai has received this Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 16, because we know many Malalas in Pakistan and around the world who could be the similar, where we have courage and resilience and empowerment within the communities. So in that context, when I came to America 20 years ago, I went to Raleigh, North Carolina, and before even coming to here, at the age of 20, I was more committed to Quran and Islamic studies, and decided to not only just cover my head, but also cover my face, having a face veil. And my parents did not support this concept at all. I was engaged then, and my fiance then was in Miami, Florida, as an international student in Florida International University. He did not believe in face veil at all, but he supported me. So for 17 years, I wore face veil. And in those 17 years, I moved to US. I went to North Carolina State University, graduated with high honors, worked in NBC News as a news editor, became first general manager of a foreign TV channel, organized international consumer and trade shows, and raised 3 beautiful daughters. And in all those years, I have always been a mentor and support for young women and girls who work as my employee or under my supervision. And with that, when I was looking to settle, finally in 2007, I asked God and made a special prayer for 6 months to take me where He needed me the most. And He brought me to Columbus, Ohio. So Columbus is very dear to me because it was chosen by God. And I'm here to share all my gifts. On my social front, I am very committed to the issues that are addressing, facing our youth. Drugs, gangs, sex trafficking, forced marriages, FGM, all kind of things. So in 2009, I helped founding a national initiative, Project Sakina, that was focusing on Muslim community, on the Muslim American community, raising awareness about family violence and relevant issues. And then in this year, now we have founded this My Project USA, which is focused on just youth, in which we are not only talking about addressing the issues, but also empowering our youth, our girls, and everything. So we know the path and journey is very long and hard one, but the community is with us. Last year, we were able to raise $50,000 to support empowering programs for our youth and especially girls. Have 175 people signed just to volunteer with our programs, and we are looking forward to doing more work. And with that, I invite all of you to join hands with us. I know that there are so many of you who are already on this path, and I salute all of these people who are working for the rights of women. And I invite the rest of you to join with us so we can change and empower the women of all colors, faith, ethnicity, and socio-economic backgrounds. Happy International Women's Day to everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for this honor to be up here today. So my story, I guess, began when I was 19. I grew up in Kenya, moved here when I was 19 for college, and it was just the natural path. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school from first grade till high school, and privileged enough to be in a middle-class family where education was reinforced. So my father was gracious enough to grant me my desire to come to the United States to go to further my education. But one of the things I remember before I left home was his last, words of encouragement was, just make us proud. He invested most of his his money to send me overseas to go to college. So that was one thing that rang true to me every time I decided, while I was in America alone, 19, naive, trying to figure out who I was, trying to find my path, was those words that, just make us proud. So fast forward to 2007, I graduated with a degree in marketing and advertising from Franklin University, and got married, and we moved to Illinois. And it was at that time in my life, I was still trying to figure out what path do I want to take. I was career focused. I wanted to go into either a fashion-related career, go into marketing, something in the advertising realm. And then we had my daughter, who was born in 2007. And it was at that time when you have a child as a woman, you just get this different view of the world. You get this, what is this world that I'm creating for her? This young girl who's looking right in my eyes, and I had a responsibility for her just by holding her. I knew that my life had changed. So that kind of took me on a different path, where initially I was trying to, go this corporate route, just go up the corporate ladder in the marketing or advertising field. But after having my child, it kind of slowed me down, and I had to start thinking, what is it, what am I going to do? I wanted to be home. I wanted to be, I guess for me, my experience as a child, growing up in Kenya, family was always around us. We always, it was a community kind of, the community where it takes a village to raise a child. And unfortunately, being here on my own, I didn't have that village. So it was my responsibility to be her village, to show her the role models that she needs to be and to aspire to be. So role model the magazine kind of birthed from me wanting so much for her to be educated, to be well educated, to be healthy, to be surrounded by women who inspire her, for her to see a reflection of herself in those magazines, in the media, which unfortunately wasn't what was out there for her. So it took me to kind of, rather than me complain and say what is not there, I had to be the solution. So I decided to start this publication to inspire girls to be their best selves, to celebrate women from all walks of life, but also to show her a reflection of who she is in the magazines, and not just in one demographic, but through a global perspective. So Role Model Magazine is a global international publication. We focus on highlighting positive role models and showing girls what they can be and just to dream big. And I guess one thing I would like to tell the other girls in this room, for me, I had a marketing background, I had no publication background, but to be great, you have to start. You have to start somewhere to be great. I guess let me rephrase that, sorry. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So in the bottom line, for me, I had to make that first move and make it happen. And I knew that for me, my education was a privilege. Unfortunately, some girls are not afforded that. So last year, I was privileged enough to go back home and just having a different lens, visit some of the underprivileged parts of Kenya, and see what I can do to help the girls there, to be able to get, to be able to celebrate their stories, but also give them the opportunities that I had that I don't take for granted. So we started our foundation, which is part of the publication called Role Model Foundation for Women and Girls. And we empower women, girls, teenage girls, pregnant girls, teenage pregnant moms and their kids. So we have a daycare for them and also help them with empowerment lessons during the day so that hopefully they can get back to school and get an education and, obviously change the way women are viewed. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here. I'm honored to take part of this wonderful day. A lot has been said from my previous colleagues, so I'm not going to repeat a lot of that. My story is very similar to those. I came to the U.S. from Somalia in 2000 to build a better life. And I was fortunate enough to be given a second chance to start over. As many of you might be aware of, Somalia has had a civil war and has been in a state of lawlessness and anarchy for 25 years. After 22, we recently started having the initiative to have a new government. So in 1991, when it all went down, I fled my country to survive, and I have lived in refugee camps and other places for 10 years until I was finally got the opportunity to come to the U.S. And I knew this was a rare opportunity that millions of my citizens, family members, and people like me from my country did not get that opportunity. So I was blessed to be given that chance. And so I knew from the get-go, if I get the chance to come here, I was going to finish school and go back to school. And so when I got here back in 2000, I had to situate myself, and I went back to school in 2003. And at the time, I had to support my family, my husband and children who were back home, we were separated. So I had to work full-time and go to school at night. And 4 years later, we were reunited and moved to, I was in Denver initially, we moved to Columbus, Ohio, to be with the Somali community. As Kadra mentioned, there's a great and huge Somali community here in Ohio. So that was how I got here. And I'm so glad I moved to Columbus, Ohio, because this city has been wonderful to me and my family, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So the biggest challenge I had in being a mom, full-time employee, volunteer, community advocate, and getting my education was really hard and challenging. So it was finding the time and prioritizing what to do next, because there were so many things that needed my attention. And one of the questions was, what supported you? Honestly, my husband was my biggest support. I couldn't have done what I've done. So with his help, I was able to stay in school and finish bachelor's and go on to get my master's in public health.